Hey there my Battlefield friends and fans, welcome back to Battlefield 1. In the Name of the Tsar DLC is finally out and I was able to play through all 5 new maps and I made sure to include all of them in this video. So first of all we have the map Tsaritsyn, I think it's called. I don't know if I pronounced that properly. Tsaritsyn was the site of the Tsarisu fortress around which a port city was developed besides the Tsaritsyn and Volga rivers. During World War I, the battle for Tsaritsyn was fought between the Red and White armies as part of Russia's civil war. In the interwar years, it was renamed Stalingrad to become infamous due to defense against the German army. In the present day, it's known as Volgograd. Tsaritsyn is a small-scale map enclosed within a dense city block. A cathedral set upon a low hill serves as the center of fighting, surrounded by demolished buildings and lines of barbed wire. Buildings along the perimeter provide flanking routes and an elite kit, but also have fragile facades that can litter players with debris. The White Army controls the riverside train station and port while the Red Army approaches from further inland. In place of a behemoth, a pair of sentry kits and a flame trooper kit spawn at deployment. And believe it or not, there are only 3 flags in Conquest and each side has access to 2 cavalry and Mark V land ships. No other heavy armor can be selected. So the control points or the flags are at the buried courtyard. These are destroyed residential buildings faced by a row of howitzers. Then we have the Cathedral of Light in the middle of the map. Partially guarded by artillery, the cathedral has an upper gallery made accessible by piles of rubble. However, players must capture the central floor that offers very little cover. Along with 4 main entrances, some of the windows allow passage in or out. Some windows with sturdy mountains with objects beneath them allow gunfire and possibly thrown gadgets through them, though they block passage. A trench network outside allows infantry to approach with cover. A flame trooper kit appears along the western top edge of the map and the Villa Perosa sentry along the east bottom part of the map. Then we have the Merchant Ruins as the lost flag, which is a block of destroyed warehouses with many tall walls remaining freestanding. And that's what you see right here. I actually was able to use those as really good cover and it took a really long time for the enemy to realize where I was shooting them from. Next up we have Albion, or Albion, I don't know exactly how you say. The map consists of a number of large islands near a coastline where Russian coastal batteries are installed. A German Navy battle group lays siege to the area. Reminiscent of Gulf of Oman, the German team begins the match offshore on a destroyer using small vessels to reach shore, while the Russian begin on the mainland and must island hop. Unique to this map is the appearance of different behemoths for each faction. If the German Empire is at disadvantage, they will receive a dreadnought as their behemoth. However, if the Russian Empire is at advantage, they will be reinforced with an airship L-30. And there are actually 7 flags you can capture on this map, believe it or not, and all together with the control points there are 9. So we have the German deployment, the Svorby lighthouse, the fishing village, the Keys Islands, and then we have the Serel battery 43 and the Serel battery 40. You see one battery right here. Then we have the radio station, the command post, and then the Russian deployment.
Das ist ein Sturmsoldat!
Next up is Brasilov Keep. This map is named after the Brasilov Offensive, one of the most lethal offensives in world history. Combat takes place along the south slope of a mountain near the river crossing of a rail line. A main road passes through town and over a sturdy bridge, and a path further uphill also connects both halves of the map. The behemoth in this map is the armored train, which appears along the south side of the map. Conquest is fought among 4 flags, 2 along the river and 1 near each deployment. Most action is expected to take place at the river, as the town on the west side and the trench lines on the east make for a difficult advance on foot. Both teams have access to the artillery truck, Putilov, Garford armored truck, and cavalry. Then we have the control points, which are the Russian deployment, the Hilltop Battery, which is the start of a trench network split by a railway. Then we have the East Bank, which is the Russian held side of the river. The main road splits from the railway around a cluster of buildings. Then we have the Bersetza Bridge, which is central of 3 bridges across the river and situated between 2 developed areas. Then we have the Samara River, which is the river crossing upstream from the rest of the map. Small cliffs block view of the area from town. Then we have the West Bank, which is a larger settlement on the Austro-Hungarian side of the map. A conspicuous bell tower overlooks much of the riverside area, including a view straight down Bersetza Bridge. Then we have the supply depot, which is the westernmost part of the town.
Seid vorsichtig!
Next up is Galicia. This map is set in a large valley near the Carpathian Mountains. The Russian and Austro-Hungarian empires fight across open plains. Though mostly settled farmland, many rows of shallow trenches and river cut through the countryside. Tall cover is sparse, with a few homes and wooden windmills offering high points. The river bends near a train track at the map's center, flowing south in either direction and crossed over by stone bridges. Conquest is fought across 5 flags. Teams have access to the artillery truck, the Putilov Garford armor truck, cavalry, and airplanes, including the Ilya Muromets heavy bomber. The behemoth in this map is an armored train in winter camouflage, which travels along the north half of the map. And the control points are the Russian deployment, the stockpile, which is an unfinished fortification, the Volga River, which are hastily built trenches in a riverbed, the train wreck, which are the rail train cars that fell north of the track. Some large homes with attics sit around this area. Then we have the western firing line, which is a long trench line, more developed than many other trenches on the map. And last but not least, we have the Forest Battery, which is the Austro-Hungarian deployment. Last but not least, we have the Volga River. Volga River is a new large map which builds upon the war-torn area surrounding the city of Tsaritsyn during the Russian Civil War. The local rural landscape of Russia is open but full of craters, burned-out tanks, husks, and skeletal ruins, and wrecked armored train cars litter the way. The Reds fight against the White in an open countryside long since demolished by war. A chimney forest and transmission pole suggest this was once a busy town. Covered in light snow, the actions of battle turn up the dark earth beneath. In place of a behemoth, the trailing team will receive 4 elite kits, both of the sentry kits, a flame trooper kit, and a tank hunter kit. A hexagonal 7-flag setup is used for conquest. Each team has access to 3 Mark V land ships and 2 cavalry units. The control points are the Red Army deployment, the Red Line, which is deep in a former residential district. The staging area, which is servicing a line of trenches. The Sevina Church, which are thick-walled remains of a church at the center of the map, with wooden platforms which cover rivulets to aid tank travel. Then we have the White Barracks, which are at the northern end of a trench network. And then we have the Shilera village, which is a settlement near the Volga consisting of wooden homes and dividing fencing. Then we have the Grumki mill, which is a carcass of an industrial building, its purpose no longer discernible. Tall rubble piles and the columns of outbuildings stand beside portions of the mill wall. Then we have the Don Trestle, which is a bridge over a large stream with the wreck of an armored train buried in the snow. Then we have the White Army deployment, which is the rail bridge over the Volga. Okay, that concludes the 5 maps. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs, and I hope to see you next time when we play some more Battlefield. Take care, bye!